G'day, it's Pete here, and today I wanted to do an introduction to splinters. So what I want to do is look at what are they, why are they useful, when do they actually apply, what are you giving up by doing them, and how to evaluate your hand after they actually happen. So first of all, what is a splinter? Well, it's a way of supporting your partner where you're highlighting where your shortage is. What you're often doing is you're bidding where your singleton is. The most common splinter will have about enough points for game, and you bid the suit that you've got a singleton or void in, and typically you would have 4-card support for them. So what would this actually look like? So splinters are actually very often double jumps. There's a wide range that they can come in. This here is the most common sort of situation that you actually have splinters in. So you don't need 4 clubs to be a natural preempt, because preempting your partner isn't actually that useful. You don't often want to do that very often. And if you wanted to bid clubs naturally, you could bid 2 clubs. You might even use 3 clubs as natural, but 4 clubs, you don't really need it to do that. So using this as a way to support partner is quite useful. So what this 4-club bid would be is about 10 to 14 points with a singleton or void in clubs, and usually 4-card support for spades. So that is what a typical splinter would actually show. So here, what would be splinters are 4 clubs. Also 4 diamonds would be a splinter as well. And importantly, if you're playing splinters, this is the critical option to discuss with your partnership, because some people play this as natural, even when playing splinters, and some people play this as a splinter. So some people like this just be, I've got a whole stack of hearts and I want to play in 4 hearts. Other people like it to be a splinter. If you are going to play splinters, make sure you discuss what this option is. This is the most critical option that you can discuss in your partnership. Is this a shortage or is this a suit? Because if you don't, you will have a mix up there, guaranteed. If we go back and actually open 1 heart, other typical splinters would be 3 spades would be one, and then also 4 clubs and 4 diamonds. So these are your very just stock standard splinters. They would show a singleton or void in the suit that you bid. They would usually have 4-card support for partner and enough points to go to game. So usually about 10 to 14 high card points and a singleton or void in that suit. If you have a void, you can lower the point range a little bit there. What you want to think about is if you count, say, 3 points for having a singleton and you've got 10 high card points, well, you'll have 13 total points there, and that's enough to go to 4 hearts. Or if you had a void and you had, say, 8 points and you counted 5 for having a void, then, well, again, you've got 13 and you've got enough points for going to game there. So it's a hand that wants to go to game, but while doing that, you're highlighting that you've actually got a shortage there. So when do they apply? So they can actually be used by the opener and the responder. The responder is by far the most common situation that you're going to get it, but I want to highlight some where opener can use it as well. So let's say that the auction went along this line where partner bids a spade, and then you jump to 4 clubs here. This is still a double jump. You might have 2 clubs and 3 clubs be natural, and 4 clubs could be a shortage here. This here, again, would say I've got enough points to go to game, and I'm highlighting that I've got a singleton or void club, and I have support for you. This will always be 4-card support in this case, because partner has only shown a 4-card suit. But enough points to go to game, well, partner could have 6. So we want a hand that's got about 20 total points as the opener. So that could be up around 17 high card points with a singleton, up to sort of like a maximum opening with a shortage there as well. So here, opener can use them as well. So that's where splinters happen and what they show, but why are they useful? I want to jump in and show you some hands that can happen. So here we'll take a look at this one. And here we've got a typical 1 spade opening. And here, let's say that partner jumps to 4 hearts, and let's say in our partnership, we discussed that this was a splinter. If you're playing it as natural, that's probably the more common approach, but don't worry, make sure you discuss this one. But here it would be showing enough points for game and a singleton or void heart is what we've agreed. So now here, what you want to do is evaluate, well, how good is that singleton for you? And if you look at this hand, well, I've got lots of points and hearts. That's not ideally what you want. When partner splinters, often what you want is length in that suit and not too many high card points. If you've got slow cards like kings, queens, jacks, they aren't going to be useful here because the whole point of showing the shortage is you want your partner to be able to trump that suit. And if you've got slow cards like king, queen, jack, firstly, you're going to lose one round, and then your partner could deal with the later ones by trumping, or otherwise your king was working. So basically, it would be highlighting that the singleton isn't where you want it to be. What you ideally want is just no wasted points, 3, 4 small cards or longer, or if you just have the ace. Now here, having the ace king isn't bad. Like having the king there, like the king will take a trick for sure, but basically you're not capitalizing on your partner having a shortage there. So here, if we just said we bid 4 spades, and here the opponent's lead, here you can see that on this one, we're going to lose 2 or 3 diamonds. We'll make 4 spades pretty comfortably here. We can trump 1 heart. But if I redeal and bring up another hand, now I want to give partner pretty much the same hand, but this time where they have a different shortage. So here, if they bid 4 diamonds, this would show a singleton or void diamond. And now our hand's actually pretty good. We have no wasted points in diamonds. We have these 4 losers in diamonds. And what you can actually do is after losing 1, we'd be able to trump the other 3. So by being able to deal with those other 3 diamonds, you can use splinters to help you visualize hands where you can bid to underpointed slams. So once partner splinters, I first think, is that going to be useful for me? And if not, I am pretty conservative. But here, if the splinter's looking good, now I think about possible hands they could have. Well, if they've got, say, the king of spades and the queen of hearts and the ace of clubs, we might just lose 1 diamond and be able to trump the other 3. We might need something else to be able to, in case the opponent's lead trumps. But that was only 9 high card points that I was thinking. And again, the 4 diamond bid is typically 10 to 14 with a singleton. I've got a void, we could be trumping all of them. So here we've got a good hand and we could potentially start investigating slam. You've got other bids available. You could bid 4 no trumps. If you bid a new suit, this would often be a control, or if you play last train, it could be that. But I just want to highlight what the rest of the hand is. So actually, let's just bid 6 spades. And here, if they lead, partner has 10 points. Same hand, but now what I've done is I've switched the location of the hearts to diamonds. The previous one, they splintered in hearts. That wasn't very useful. We were losing 2 diamonds and maybe even a diamond ruff and would make 10 or 11 tricks. But here, now they've got the same 10 points and we've only got 14 high card points, but we're going to lose 1 diamond. We could trump 2 diamonds and the last diamond can go on the heart there. So we can actually make 12. So splinters are really powerful to actually help you find underpointed slams. And this is why it's actually the favorite convention of Kathrine, Bertheau, and also Justin Mill, who have recently been on the Sorry Partner podcast. And I'll post links to their interviews there. But splinters are really powerful for trying to evaluate these sorts of hands where you can get to some underpointed slams. So I'll highlight a few more example hands. But when you're trying to evaluate, what you often want to look for is ideally what you want is you want either no wasted points in there with some length, 3, 4 cards, or if you do, you want the ace. Any other points there just aren't going to be pulling their weight. And if you've got those, you want to slow down because partner's overvaluing their singleton. Whereas if you have those perfect cards, then you can look for those smaller slams. So here, if we open a heart and partner bids a spade, this is one where we could be pretty pushy, but we've got 15 high card points with a singleton club. Here, I actually, with the 6-4 shape, wouldn't mind jumping to 4 clubs and just forcing to game. You really don't need much from partner. If they've just got the queen of spades, you could just make 10 tricks very easily on this hand. So I would jump to 4 clubs here. And here, partner will just bid 4 spades. So here on this one, partner's hand, they had king to 5 clubs. They've only got 5 high card points. They weren't interested in going further. But the singleton's not going to pull as much weight. If they had ace to 5 clubs, they might have been slightly more interested, but they'd still want a bit more points. If you gave them ace to 5 clubs and the ace of diamonds and this 5-5 shape, now with their 10 points opposite your 15, we're now talking that we can maybe bid and make a slam. And here I wanted to highlight a spot where it's a bit unusual that you could actually splinter, but it is still possible. So here, let's say partner open 1 spade, and we actually bid 2 clubs. We haven't splintered here. Some people might bid 4 diamonds straight away, but ideally you would have that show 4 card support, but we can show our club suit. And now let's say partner bids 2 spades. Well, now's the spot where we can actually splinter now. And if you jump to 4 diamonds here, this would be showing a singleton or void diamond, but actually only 3 card support. So there are tons of places that you can actually add in splinters if you discuss with your partnership about the intricacies. So I just wanted to highlight some more of the unusual ones there. So this is my introduction to splinters. Hope it clarifies a bit, but it's a really powerful convention. And highlighting those shortages can help you find some underpointed slams, some underpointed games, depending on how you use them. But finding out where the singleton is really powerful for helping you visualize hands and get to those important games and slams. Anyway, thanks all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.